Hello children, today I am going to do the poem Television by Roald Dahl with you. So this poem Television by Roald Dahl is a very heartfelt emphatic appeal to parents to save their beloved children from the dangers of a brain freeze which happens when children watch television all day. The poet advises the parents to get children to read instead because reading opens up the imagination of a child and gets him or her to find fulfillment by actively exercising his or her mind, which is contrary to what happens when the children passively watch television all day. The poem takes a comical look at the children staring fixedly at the television set and a vehement protest that might follow when the parents take the television set away and make children read book instead. Roald Dahl needs no introduction. He is one of the most loved modern writers in English. He was a British novelist, short story writer, poet, screenplay writer, and a fighter pilot during World War II. Now, I'm going to tell you about the poet. Roald Dahl is one of the most prolific of modern writers in English. He was a British novelist, short story writer, a screenwriter, fighter pilot, and has a large fan following among young readers. The poem Television takes a comic look at a serious problem among young children today. So, comic look here means, like in a very light-hearted manner, the poet brings up a serious problem in front of his readers. He is trying to highlight this problem and he tries to highlight the problem and makes the readers consider what he is trying to convey. The poem warns us about the dangers of excessive television watching. Means he tells us that excessive television watching really robs our imagination. He tells us that TV robs the mind of the power of imagination and creativity. So the poet tells us that when you read, your mind opens up and it starts working because like when we visualize things, our brain starts working and to its maximum, but when you watch television, everything is in front of you, so there is a novelty in watching television, so you are robbed of your imagination and creativity. Dahl, in his characteristic exaggerated style, warns that we will become zombies if we keep staring uninterrupted at the television for long hours. So he says that we will become zombies, we will not be able to think, we will vegetate if we keep on staring at the television all the time. He advises us to read books, for this will enable us to discover deeper levels of joy, find fulfillment in life, and open a whole new and exciting world for us. So, the poet advises that the world of books is much wider than the world of television, and if we keep watching television, then we will not be able to understand, and we will leave undiscovered many of the things if we will not read books. Now, let us do the poem in brief. The poet tells all parents that they must never allow their children to even go near the television set. It might make life easier for the parents who have to manage their children all day, but television severely damages a child's intelligence. The poet then talks about the joys of reading for children. He requests the parents to throw away the television set and install a bookshelf in its place. He knows that children will protest angrily at this, but he is confident that they will soon turn to books and they will experience the joys of reading and later on thank their parents for doing what is actually good for them. So, this is what we are going to get in this poem. Now, Let me do the line wise paraphrasing of the poem A Television with you. I'm going to read the poem and I'm going to make you understand what the poet wants to convey to the readers. The most important thing we have learned so far as children are concerned is never, never let them near your television set. Or better still, just don't install the idiotic thing at all. So, in this poem, the poet begins with a strong emphatic message to the parents. The poet says that as far as children are concerned, they have learnt that the children should not be allowed to even go near the television set. And it would be best for the parents that they do not install this idiotic thing at all. Like he says, he calls this a television set an idiotic box, so that if the parents do not install any television set, the children can do something else. He wants to save the children from watching television regularly. In almost every house we have been, we have watched them gaping at the screen. They loll and slop and lounge about and stare until their eyes pop out. Last week in someone's place, we saw a dozen eyeballs on the floor. They sit and stare and sit until they are hypnotized by it, until they are absolutely drunk with all that shocking, ghastly junk. So the poet says that in almost every house where he has been, where the poet has been, there he has seen children staring with wide open eyes. He has seen them gaping at the screen with wide open eyes. So these children are so lazy that they lazily lie at one place. They slop and they loll and slop and lounge about means they keep lying at one place very lazily. And these children, they keep lying lazily at one place, and when they move more lazily. They keep staring at the television set until their eyes pop out. Until their eyes pop out means until their eyes come out of their eye sockets. The poet jokingly says that last week in somebody's place, like the poet went to someone's place, he might have gone to his neighbors, or he might have gone to his friend's house, where he has seen a dozen eyeballs on the floor. So he says that he has seen a dozen eyeballs, like that must have popped out of the children's eyes, and the eyeballs must be lying on the floor. They sit and stare and stare and sit. So he says that they here he's referring to the children, and says that the children, they keep staring, sitting, they keep staring, they keep sitting, and they keep staring and they keep sitting all day in front of the television set until they are hypnotized by it. And he says that these children, they get totally involved they get totally hypnotized by the television set until they are absolutely drunk with all that shocking, ghastly junk. So he says that these children, they regularly keep watching television, they keep regularly staring at the television until they are drunk with all the shocking, frightening rubbish that they see. Shocking, ghastly junk here refers to all the rubbish, all the irrelevant things which are shown to the children.